Listening to Teddy Swims sing is pretty much a vocal lesson in and of itself. There's so many things that we could break down and talk about and think about in terms of learning how to do these things, learning these techniques, and then eventually trying to slowly let those things go so you don't have to think about them so that you can express through these. We're going to get into his new song called Breakup in Reverse, and we're going to see if we can talk about some of this stuff and understand what makes him a really terrific singer.
Tears on your face, climb back into your eyes. A little less on your nerves and a little more on your mind. Make up.
So instantly a great tone, a great kind of cadence, and a great delivery. I love the softer approach. I know he's pretty much more known for singing higher and distortional and crazy runs and all these kinds of things, but I love the pulled back energy.
Before we fight, dream before we sleep, slowly getting better than we've ever been. Things we should have never said.
So one of the cool things here is that the words and the poetry weren't completely just like syllabic and kind of rigid. It's more about the story. And then we have this lift when we get to the pre-chorus already. Things we... I haven't listened to enough of it yet. I gotta back up.
We should have never said.
Things we should have never said. So we have this lift. So we get to kind of talk through this thing and tell the story, and then we get to kind of lift into this legato type of thing. So yeah, when it comes to the most important thing I'm already hearing here, it's paying attention to your airflow and your foundation. Almost like being able to sing to your children, being able to sing to your spouse, being able to sing to your dog, for Christ's sake. Being able to have that lovely connection and know what that feels like to, yeah, ooh, things we should have never said. Being able to just sit and control that from the right places really makes a difference in your singing.
Just crawl right back into our heads.
So there we see a little bit of that style, and we see that he's kind of doing this with his mouth and lifting up one side for a stylistic kind of effect, but it doesn't come across as much in terms of his sound, so it might be something he's kind of doing to connect to it more in the video, but let's listen to that because we got a little bit of that there.
Back
into your life, or whatever he's saying. Back into your life. So again, he got a little bit of that.
Hear you say to me, please don't, please. I wish we could break up in reverse. Every night would get better instead of getting worse. I don't.
We hear great support here. We hear great connection, and we hear that real kind of almost dichotomy between the softer, prettier vocals that are a little bit breathy to then connecting here, and how much of an emotional payoff you get from hearing that. I wish, I wish, and hearing that digging in there. Again, there we have more stomach. Yeah. And kind of that push down, but let's see where he's singing up to. So I think pretty much we're in that kind of range right there, but we got a D, and we got an E4. Sorry, I'm not the best piano player. So if you can embody that and you can sit in that, it's not quite close to everybody's bridge, but you're starting to get up there, and then you're going to have to do something to change over to these higher notes, which is getting into mixed voice.
Please. I wish we could break up in reverse.
Did you hear his throat open right there? Break up in reverse. I don't know the song well enough. Break. So again, I'm opening more because it's morning and I'm not warmed up. But still, it's the same thing applies. Instead of break, we can only have so much of this in there before we correct that with this. Break. So we have a G sharp 5. Break. Hey! So again, I can only go with break. Break's a hard word to sing. Break! So again, we get that out of the way. And again, you have this metering system of that pulling that larynx down. How much can the throat open back up? Break! And that can be really difficult to learn. It can take some time to counterbalance that habit of going break like this and opening things back up. By the way, if you want to learn more about how to do this type of stuff and you really want to start learning how to embody these types of things so you can move forward in this singing journey of your own, you can download my free course. You can join my free course in the description or the pinned comment, and I'd be happy to see you over there, and I'd like to hear from you and hear how you're doing with this kind of stuff, because it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to put together and to make sense of, but it's very worth doing. But if you really embody that and you really continue to think about that and practice, okay, I'm starting to get higher, I'm getting close to that bridge, I can tell, practicing things like sirens, then you can tell when that larynx needs to pull down instead of it pulling up. Because when it pulls up, you're gonna be fucked.
Every night would get better instead of getting worse.
So again, then we get to drop back into the instead of getting worse. And he's really playing to that up and down power of like bringing things way up and back down.
I don't watch you slowly slip back into my head, say goodbye to me in the beginning, and let me in the end.
So in terms of genre, I don't even know what kind of genre that he would get placed in a lot of times. But in terms of all that kind of stuff, I like in this song how it's just kind of a good song so far. We got acoustic guitar, we got some slight elements of piano and some kind of different synth sounds, electronic sounds and stuff. But for the most part, it's not being forced in one direction or another. And I think that's the way music should be a lot of times. It shouldn't just start off all the time with like, I want to write this kind of song. It's like, no, the song should be telling you what it wants to be. And then you're just so lucky to be a part of it and to kind of be feeding it what it feels like it wants. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's the way I tend to write my music too.
And love me in the end. Oh.
That's so good. What does he say there? Love me in the end?
In the end.
Love me in the end. And now let's listen to that run, which I most certainly can't do. I think I'm missing a line there, but I'm not very good at that stuff. But man, if you want to get better at runs like that, you just got to slow them down, man. You can do them from up here, and you can learn how to control them from up here, but there's always going to be a little bit of a balance between I like to teach it from down here to keep getting people connected to their diaphragm. But let's listen to it one more time, and let's think about all the forms they needed to fill out and all the things they needed to do for him to be able to sit on that that piece of machinery for safety and insurance reasons. I know, I think I'm still missing something in there, but if we slowed that down, so let's say that's what it was. Then we start speeding that up, mostly from the stomach if we can, just like you're laughing. Something like that.
You'd be on your way back from Massachusetts, but it breaks the hearts of stars when you use them as excuses.
You're using mass excuses? Is that what he says? Breaks the heart to pieces when you're using mass excuses. Interesting. Again, going back to that storyteller quality here. I like that it's just actually telling a story, and it's just coming more from a realistic place, like this really happened, instead of just kind of a fabricated thing. You know, there's beautiful songs like that somebody like Sia would write, and she's an amazing singer and performer, but like she'll even tell you like the songs are total bullshit. People are like, the diamonds in the sky, and you're like, yeah, that's great, but she wrote it after seeing a commercial, and it just like she farted that out of her head, and she knows it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. But then there's stuff that actually is written from a real perspective, and I think a lot of times we can connect to it more, and it means something more to all of us when we know it's real. Like we know it's real when something's actually a little bit more real.
Stars when you use them as excuses and wish upon a stranger, even though we know it's useless.
I love the connection to those words there. But wish upon a stranger, even though we know it's useless. Wish upon a stranger, even though we know it's useless. We can hear how that vibrato and that kind of magic wants to keep coming through. Oh, we can hear how close he always is to being able to just run through all those beautiful notes. Oh, how close he is right there. Even though we know it's useless. A little bit of country there. A little bit of country, right?
Cause all I want's the night back.
One more time.
Please, cause all I want's the night back. When your best friend introduced us,
I love that rise right there and how the music fell out. Always great when you can put almost a stop in a song because it builds so much intensity.
And introduced us.
I
wish we could break up in reverse. Every night would get better. Instead, I'm getting worse.
So I love the use of vocal fry there. Instead, I'm getting worse. Oh. Just leaning into things.
I don't watch you slowly slip back into my head. Say goodbye to me in the beginning.
Say goodbye to the end of. I can't tell what he's saying. Again, it's still done so well though.
Love me in the end. And love me in the end.
Oh, that's such a great drop right there. Let's listen to that again.
And love me in the end.
So again, if we want to try to practice something like that, I want you to think like you're sitting on that stomach. Learn how to use your stomach like a bagpipe. And then we're sitting there. And then we're going to slowly just kind of push down into that, but we're also going to be pushing lighter as we get to the bottom of this phrase because it's just getting quieter and more whispery as we go.
In the
And, oh, and again, we can also lighten up on the vocal cords. Yeah, but we don't want to lose this. And, that was kind of close.
things we should never say, just crawl right back into our head.
Again, so many great. I'm not a big fan of like a lot of lines, but again, he's not over singing. He's not using too much of it. It's just really naturally doing what feels good for the song. And I notice now that he has his eyelids tattooed, which, god damn, that had to hurt like crazy. But let's listen to this line again one more time.
Crawl right back into our head.
Crawl right back into our heads. A lot of the same lines. I'm doing the same lines because I'm not good at all this stuff, but just wanted to listen to that line again.
I can hear you scream. Please don't, please. I wish we could break up in reverse. Wouldn't have to remember all the ways that it hurts. I don't watch you slowly slip back into my.
So a lot. I just talked about this recently last week, I think, with songs about how we have usually, a pretty typical kind of structure to most songs where we have a verse, chorus, pre-chorus, chorus, things like that. But a lot of times you'll hear people drop out that last chorus or do something to really make that last chorus hit, right? We want that last chorus to not just be a rinse and repeat kind of thing. And there we kind of broke down the bridge and started getting a little bit more sparse. And then we went to just guitar and vocals there to really build up this last chorus and make it special. And then, of course, I'm guessing he's probably going to sing his ass off a little bit more to really make this last chorus special.
Say goodbye to me in the beginning. Love me in the end.
Oh, how great is it when he's latching onto that vocal. And when he's really going, and holding onto that vowel. Really moves up into those cry muscles. And love me in the end. I don't know the song well enough.
Love me in the end.
again, he could just keep doing more and more, but it really felt special.
Love me in the end. Love me in the end.
So what's one of the main things we can take away from listening to Teddy here and just kind of analyzing this? I think one of the most important things that tends to just flow in and out of every singer's life, because there's all the superfluous, distortion and belting and all this kind of stuff, but it comes again back to controlling airflow and being sitting in that foundation. Sitting and establishing a foundation and then learning how to sit and control that airflow. So if I did something like, and I get to know what that feels like in the mouth, to hold that resonance chamber and feel that kind of resonance start to bounce around. There could be, and again, the resonance is gone there. But when I pull that open, then I can control that. And again, I can still go whispery or I can do whatever, but getting to know that relationship and then getting to know when words are messing with that relationship. If I sing, and then I sing me, it all went away. Me, I just opened that valve back up and I went almost completely back to again. So that's one of the main takeaways from this. Again, if you want to learn more about this stuff, link is in the description, link is in the top pinned comment. I'd be happy to hear from you, happy to see you over there. Let me know the things that you're dealing with. Let me know the things that you want to analyze and break down and learn more about, and I'll be happy to watch them and break them down. See you soon.